Hell Band! Ladies and gentlemen, would you listen to them play? My God, it's incredible.
The freaking percussion drum work alone of this band.
Just brilliant. And
Every week, I try to think of I dial into one individual instrument each week.
Could you believe this audience?
I do, because it's the 68th episode and the 67th time I've seen audience in front of me in this room from this booth. I do believe this audience.
I still find it unbelievable that these beautiful, just geniuses keep coming back to listen to more.
I'm gonna say this. I don't listen to many podcasts, but the ones that I have, not one has an audience. We are the only one. We could possibly be the only weekly podcast with an audience, because not everyone's weekly, and we are. Mm-hmm. For now, there's talks. There was a creative meeting behind the Dinner in Hell scenes. We're not going to get into. But
speaking of some of these audience members who have been here since the beginning, we got an old school episode today.
Oh, is it going to be an upbeat, positive baby death episode?
Welcome back for another exciting edition of the Dinner in Hell podcast, the show where two amateur historians talk about the atrocious underbelly of history. I am one of your co-hosts, Brad the Impaler, and with me, as always, Ron Big Money Maiden.
Big money coming through. Big money. How about you? Everyone's heard that song. Everyone's probably, now it's in their head.
Forever.
Freaking another classic Dinner in Hell episode that involves death.
Yes, indeed. You may be shocked to hear that, but that's the case.
Oh, I listened to Dinner in Hell. I like that one episode where the people get killed in it. Yeah, you really listen. Thanks. I like the one that you guys do about the execution method. That was the good one I liked.
Yeah, episode 68 we're on.
Yeah. How many execution method episodes do you think we've had?
A lot.
20?
Probably, yeah. I don't. We'd have to go back and look at them, but it's a lot.
Holy shit!
I was just thinking, episode 68, and we are definitely not out of execution episodes. This is in the middle of the pack, I think.
Yeah, right now I'm doing research on Firing Squad, so gear up.
That'll be a good one.
That episode should be about 8 minutes long. And then I have another episode right now. I'm in pre-production on hanging. I already got 12 minutes worth of shit on that one.
Yeah, I think we got the bulk of that in the drawing and quartering one.
Hanging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we did a lot of hanging talk in there.
In the hanging episode, or the drawn and quarter one, what was the guy's name that jumped off the platform to try to hang himself and snap his own neck? It's the guy that they make the mask out of now, right?
Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the guy that was supposed to be hung first, but he instead of this slow hanging,
he jumped
to jerk his neck and kill himself. Did he? He wasn't successful though, right?
No, he was.
Oh, yeah?
He got out. Yeah.
That's how he did it.
Yep.
Woo! Good move, Guy Fawkes. Because someone from the future listened to our program in the future when there's possible time travel. They went back and told him, because what do we do on our show? We go back and advise people.
Yep, we always have the same advice for a hanging scenario. Do what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Any execution method, try to get yourself the fastest way out possible. Because I'll tell you what, this flaying topic today is one of the most painful ones you can experience.
Yeah, and there's no quick option here, is there?
No.
Nope.
Not at all.
Yep. And by flaying, what we mean is the removal of your skin off of your body while you're alive still.
Your skin?
Yeah.
Picture that off of you.
Yep.
And you're just like muscle person.
Yep.
You just see muscles. You're red now, like bloody.
Yeah, you're a red guy.
You ever seen the Hellraiser?
Yes.
There's a guy that has no skin in it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen
Frank,
that.
when he's coming back to life, like when he's regenerating, he's like...
I don't know it. I just remember that somehow like there was like a bed where they would like chain someone in the bed and then like he would come out of the bed and eat, like absorb the person or something.
Yeah,
or?
he would like feed on their blood.
Yeah. And gain more like what,
He would
life?
come like back to life.
Yeah. I just remember scenes from that movie. I don't know anything about like why Pinhead is who he has. Got the nails in his head. I don't know anything about that. I just remember that guy having no skin. Flaying.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with the book.
Yeah. I actually I tried Googling why was he skinless. But so you just explained it to me. He was regenerating from the inside out. Okay. And then he eventually gets skin. I don't know, does he?
Yeah.
Talking Hellraiser, everybody.
Yep, he fully comes back to life. Because, like, what it is his, like, regenerating back to life is him escaping from where they've already taken him.
Okay.
The, like, Cenobites realm.
That's the bad people with, like, the hooks and the chains?
Yes.
Okay. Whew. I bet people that listen to our show probably are familiar with Hellraiser.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely a cult classic.
Yeah, I'm not a big, like, gore movie, like, aficionado, but I've known, the visuals of that movie. Anyways, Flaying.
Oof, we're going to get into it.
We did Ling Chi where we cut pieces off you to your, like, just a little, like, looks like a euro at a coney.
Yeah.
Like,
if that was the cutting little
Literally.
pieces off, this is exactly like that, except it's trying to cut the whole thing off at once.
They would usually cut you. Here's the thing. They would skin your face first. And then your face first. And then they would cut your like wrist skin just deep enough to like the muscle, not all the way to the muscle.
Yeah.
Ankles and shit. And they would try to do as minimal cuts possible because they wanted a big sheet of skin in the end.
Yeah.
Because they would
do stuff with it.
Yeah, in different cultures. But we're going to talk about what different cultures did with that. But the actual process of it, good Lord. You're conscious the entire time until like the very end when your brain's like, all right, we're shutting you down, bro.
Yeah, the first thing we're going to get into today is exactly what the process is like to experience. Then we're going to get into, we're going way back to some all-stars, the Neo-Assyrian Empire. They got up to some shit. And then a lot of time we're going to spend with the Aztecs.
Right.
And the kind of skinning culture they have going. There's a couple bonus stories after that, but I think Ron will take us away.
The Aztec one stood out to me as the worst. Look what they did with the skins after. That's going to be a corker.
It was quite, a corker, indeed. It was quite the rabbit hole to fall down during our research period this week. Like,
most of the time when like the torturer is flaying the person, he would have the person upside down. Is that in Game of Thrones, the Ramsay Bolton? Was the flayed man upside down or was he right side up?
I'm going to say he's upside down.
Well, because I know Theon was right side up on his X crucifix. I think he's right side up because I think that's how you even understand that it even is a man, is because the head is on top. Are you going to look it up on your monitor?
Yeah, we got some. He is in fact upside down.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, my bad. See, we didn't even have to have our listeners tweet at us.
Yeah, thanks to the in-house staff for getting that up on these monitors so quick.
That was fast. So check it out, man. Picture this. Your nerve system is attached to your skin, like all over your body.
Indeed.
Just touch anywhere on your body. You feel your fingertips touching you. You have nerves there.
I am touching myself as we speak.
Now, if I was to like sever your nerve ending, as usual, I caught that. like if you were to surgically sever a nerve ending, it might be one thing with like a razor sharp scalpel, like perfect, you know.
Bink.
Yeah, it might be like it'd be painful, right? But it'd probably be like tolerable, maybe.
I don't know, but I don't. I mean, I've gotten a lot of cuts. I guess that's what it feels like.
When they're pulling this sheet of skin off of you, they're ripping it off of you and like tugging it off of you to where it's like severing these nerve endings like just raw.
We are 12 minutes in and you did it.
I mean, that's
you
what
got me with that one. That's like a gut punch right there.
That's what flaying is. And I'm just picturing like the worst feeling. Because now all your nerve endings are exposed. Now the wind is hitting you. You're upside down.
So you got the blood rushing to your head.
Yeah, like so you're conscious. If you were right side up, the blood would rush out of your head and you would pass out faster. So these guys are like, no. He was a traitor. He's got to be upside down for being a traitor.
And gravity probably helps get the skin off better that way. Against the grain. Is there a grain on skin? Is this against the skin grain? I don't know.
They would
Good God.
They would cut just right to where like the skin like it was like peeling right off of your friggin' muscle tissue, like gross.
Sweet Jesus, that's terrible.
And most of the time you die like right that night or that event, but there were some cases where people would survive several days.
That is a rough couple of days.
The longer you survive, the better chance you're going to get infection. I mean, you're going to get infection. It's
I would imagine that sets in basically immediately.
I'm not sure if I'm worried about infection though. If I'm flayed,
no, you're never going to make it long enough for that to affect you. Yeah, not even close.
I mean, imagine.
We're talking like a lot of blood, a lot of shock to the system, like infection.
There's a lot of cases where you lose consciousness though due to your brain's natural freaking mechanism that shuts you down. So you're like,
big ups to the brain on that one.
Thanks, brain, Bobby the Brain Heenan. But that's the gist of freaking the process of being flayed to death. I mean, we could talk about some of the ways that they would tenderize you before.
Oh, let's hear that.
Like, we're talking Aztecs, we're talking Neo-Syrian, which is like what, Iraqi area?
Yes, exactly.
So you're thinking hot sun. They would put people out in the hot sun to where they'd be burned.
And that is a hot sun.
Yeah. People that live near the equator, they know the sun isn't playing around down there.
Especially hot in the desert.
Yeah.
Really, like fucking when you like, I remember seeing people like Saudi Arabia people posting pictures last year, like their fucking cars literally melting, like the dashboards like completely drooped over.
Just in Florida, your tires can melt to your driveway or to the road if you're parked for a long time, and that's pretty close to the equator. But
hot. Talking hot.
So they would set you out in the hot sun to where, and then, like to tenderize your skin so it's easier to like rip off of you. But another thing that another way to tenderize you is to freaking flash boil you. Remember we talked about boiling a few weeks back? Mm-hmm. We talked about the fact that, just when they're taking you and dunking you into the boiling water, the steam above it, like if you ever burned your hand, like getting noodles or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just being above it would hurt you. So like, boom, we're just going to dunk him in there really fast so he's still alive. But you would probably go blind.
Yeah.
Your lungs would fill with steam, so it would scorch your lungs. And then they haven't even cut your skin off yet.
And you're already coughing up blood. Awesome.
Yeah. And they haven't made one cut yet to get your skin off. So, yeah, this is a doozy. I hope.
Yeah. So that's a description of basically what happens every time somebody in any mention of the rest of the show gets skinned or flayed. That's what happens to them. Some variation of that.
So today, the first topic, we're going back to around 900, 600 BCE.
Yep. Now, the Neo-Assyrians have come up more than a couple of times on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about Ashurnasirpal specifically before.
Episode 1, Milk and Honey.
Yep. Well, they're coming back. And I just thought it was interesting. I re-encountered this information when I was looking at them. All of these atrocities that we have mentioned and will mention, the Neo-Assyrian Empire was only around for 300 years. They only existed for 300 years.
Really?
Yes. Every speck of the brutality we've described took place between 900 BCE and 600 BCE.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What happened to them? They break off into different groups?
Well, what really happened is their main city, Nineveh, which was a huge, like, fucking impenetrable fortress or whatever, eventually they were so brutal to, like, repressing the people that they've conquered and the people who had rebelled against them that everybody in the surrounding kingdoms and all of the subjects revolted and they destroyed Nineveh.
That's a good way to get flayed, is by revolting.
Yeah, but then if you flay people for too long and you flay too many of them, eventually everybody's going to get together and flay your ass.
Are you saying that the Neo-Assyrian King Ashurnasirpal was flayed? Do we know his cause of death?
I don't think so.
We haven't covered that yet.
I'm just speaking generally about, that's the extent of like my general knowledge of the Neo-Assyrian Empire.
Okay.
I don't know who was king when.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I believe he's probably due for his own show, right? We featured him on like Impale. We've featured him on many episodes, King Ashurnasirpal II.
Yeah, he's come up of more than a couple times, I think. Ashurnasirpal II.
Ashurnasirpal. We should do like a, his own episode. We've done Nero, we've done Hitler, we've done Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Nero, Hitler, Columbus. Let's do one for the king.
Yeah, we could definitely probably do one of him. Might be a little bit of rehash, but it'll be an interesting episode, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, these Neo-Assyrians, flaying alive was just one of their many horrifying specialties. Speaking of Ashurnasirpal II specifically, we have his own words in the form of a royal decree on the matter. I have made a pillar facing the city gate, and I have flayed all the rebel leaders. I have clad the pillar in the flayed skins. I let the leaders of the conquered cities be flayed, and clad the city walls with their skins. The captives I have killed by the sword and flung on the dung heap. The little boys and girls were burnt. So we're talking about an entire city, every inch of its walls covered in human skin.
Of the people that once lived there.
Yeah. Let alone this happening to you. Can you even imagine being in a scenario in which you see something like that? What would that do to you to see?
Can't
Along
imagine.
with countless bodies of burned children.
Yeah. Imagine the production line of torturers that had to get these bodies skinned in a matter of time.
Unreal.
Like they had to have okay, bring them in.
Yeah, here's 700 people that are
Yeah.
doing nothing but cutting the skin off of people.
Yeah, cut his head off and let's pull that skin back right. Good job on that thigh cut.
Now you got to dry it before you can put it up on the walls. God, holy shit. The amount of just work that went into nothing but creating a monstrous
Man,
I don't know, spectacle.
that's nuts.
Yeah. Unreal. It's so brutal. It's it's almost beggars the imagination. When you start thinking about the specifics of how something like that must have worked, it's like, what the fuck? It must have taken days maybe to do. People spent nothing none of their time doing nothing but cutting the skin off of human beings and tacking them up on a wall for like a couple days, I guess.
And like that dude has to go to lunch at some point. Like, God damn it, I'm taking a lunch. I'm gonna be on lunch. Dude has to like wash the human blood off his hands and shit before he like has his whatever, a Neo-Syrian snack.
I don't know what they eat. Probably something weird.
What is it? Was it falafel? That little ball shit?
I think so.
That falafel?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably chowing on that. Goat. I don't know. I haven't had Nero. Have you ever been to a Neo-Syrian restaurant?
I haven't. I don't know if their cuisine survives.
Is that what Sonic is? That's not what Sonic is.
Neo-Syrian? No, I think you're thinking of In-N-Out.
Okay.
Archaeology. Indiana Jones type shit has also recovered for us some Neo-Syrian artifacts with lots of information on them.
Oh, I'm sure it's just great fucking details of people being freaking murdered.
Yeah, they're really fucking cool. If you go look them up, they look like they're almost alien. They're so old.
Oh, the cylinders?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little clay. It's got like 9 sides, I think.
Yeah.
Like an octagon, but 9-sided octagon.
Mm-hmm. The one column specifically, the Rassam cylinder is about 10 centimeters high. And it's got 10 sides with tiny cuneiform writing.
Mm-hmm.
And these tell about the conquests and the reign of Ashurbanipal, including a lot of people that he had flayed, among with many other brutal things.
And also included details on the construction of the buildings in Nineveh.
Yeah, I mean, but I could be wrong. My Neo-Assyrian pronunciation is not ideal, I don't think. I mean, it's not quite as good as my Aztec.
Don't you see the heaven kind of connection there? Say it backwards.
Nevea?
No, say Nineveh backwards. Heavenin.
Read
it. Heavenin. Conspiracy. Welcome, conspiracy.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah. Dinner in Hell, Illuminati confirmation. Holy cow. How about the fact that on our YouTube channel, our videos that have the most plays are like promo ads for the shows that we created?
Yep.
Like, check it out. We're going to talk about boiling.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Like 13 plays.
Yeah, we get a lot of love on SoundCloud, a lot of love on iTunes, less on YouTube. Not big hits there.
Yeah, we never recommend people go to our YouTube.
It was just the backup.
We just have it because some people want it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know who that one person is, but like, I think there's an episode that has 0 plays.
I think there's more than one.
That's fine.
Yeah, what are you going to do? The YouTube is just a backup.
We've never mentioned our YouTube. It's probably in about 40 episodes.
Yeah, so if the SoundCloud or something goes down, everything's on YouTube still.
So, like forever. Like, really?
Yeah.
YouTube's pretty forever.
Yeah, it's forever. It's on there forever.
Yeah. Enjoy it forever.
So we've covered the Neo-Assyrians over in the modern-day Iraq, back around 900 BCE. We're going to shoot around to the other side of the world. We're going to Central America. We're going to talk about some Aztec flaying.
That's right. Not only will we be talking about flaying, but we're going to be talking about a certain particular god of theirs that they would have festivals for in his honor. And he was flayed himself.
Yeah. So it's not so, I mean, he went through it.
He flayed himself.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Let's begin.
Yeah. We're talking, this gets into a lot of the Aztec religion, which is scary, honestly, if I'm going to put a one-word assessment on it.
Let's pause this podcast for a moment, and we're going to talk real talk. I had Brad the Impaler over at my home recently, and we watched Apocalypto together.
I have now seen the film.
Yes, and which was supposed to be Mayans, but what the sacrifice method they were doing was based on Aztec.
Yeah, it looked real Aztec to me.
But I think that they were portrayed as Mayans or something. But
Yeah, they even had like the big bad guy or whatever was a jaguar warrior, which we'll talk about in this episode.
There you go. So yeah, Brad's seen that now, guys. If you've been following the show,
I did finally see one of the movies that he's been getting me to trying to get me to watch.
And now
I know I watched No Country for Old Men too, which was also very, very good.
See, you can trust me.
Mm-hmm. It just takes me a while. I eventually will do it.
I just French rolled my pant leg. See?
Is that like a bike thing?
No, it's like from the 80s. We used to French roll our pant legs to go to school. Yeah, everyone did this. But like tight.
Why?
Because it was
like for fashion?
Yeah. Yeah, it's what was happening. Yeah.
I can dig it.
If you're old enough to remember the black and gray two-tone jeans, tweet a photo
Acid
of them.
wash?
No, I'm telling you, they were like, see how these denim, there's a seam here?
Yeah.
Well, this would be gray and this would be black.
Ooh,
so
yikes.
like gray front, black back, and like a gray pocket on the black pant leg. Like that kind of reversal shit. Yeah.
Oh, see, I had Jinkos.
You're the Jinko era?
Yeah, I'm Jinko era.
Do you remember stonewash, acid wash, all that shit?
Yeah.
Salt washed,
yeah.
freaking backwashed, freaking car washed.
Gummo fashion is basically what you're describing right now.
I had car wash jeans. And what they do is they take the jeans and they car wash them.
Over and over.
Yeah, it's crazy. They look awesome though. If you guys remember
it's
car wash
whipping
jeans.
From the end machine that like I'm always terrified is going to break my mirrors. I think that's what really gets the perfect slap onto the denim.
If you guys remember, if anyone's old enough to remember backwash jeans, it's where you throw your jeans in the washing machine and then it like spits you out into another. I don't know. This is stupid. Okay. Aztec tradition. Flaying in the Aztec tradition is mostly connected to human sacrifice to the god of death, disease, and last but not least, agricultural renewal.
Yep.
Why is it called agricultural renewal?
That's a part of death. All the crops have to die. Dead things fertilize the ground. It's all part of his aspect. You can't have rebirth without death.
I thought it would. I interpreted it. Interpreted. I gathered.
There we go.
No. I don't know why I'm having a problem with that word, but
I do.
Holy shit. I do. Woo.
We'll just move on without addressing that.
1 second. Oh shit. Okay. The way I thought when it said agricultural, I thought it meant because. Can I explain why he is known, like why he was worshipped or whatever?
Yeah, lay it on me.
So the guy, he was nicknamed the Flayed One. Was it? You said his name was Shipe Totek?
Shipe Totek.
Right, the Flayed One. He, according to Aztec religion, he flayed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like cut his own skin off to feed the people.
Yes.
So they're like, that's why I thought agriculture, because agriculture produced food.
Oh,
so
yeah. Within the mythology, you're absolutely correct. Okay. I'm talking about just like the reason they give a shit about it.
Oh, yeah. They're like, we're going to name him god of agriculture. Like they had to come up with a god to be the god of agriculture. They probably already had god of agriculture, but they just didn't know which.
Yeah, they're like, who are we going to stick this on?
Yeah,
well, the death part of it, you can't have rebirth without death when the crops die. So we'll give it to Shipe. Shipe, boom, you got another thing. You're the god of another one.
I got a Shipe Totek background for my phone. I made one.
It looks badass too.
Thanks.
Yeah, they just brought it up over on my monitor over here. It looks incredible.
Thanks. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to do an auction for charity.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't just steal the image. Hey, this image, you can win this image.
Put like 7 huge watermarks across it. Dinner in hell, dinner in hell.
You want these watermarks removed? You gotta win the auction.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, he flayed himself. That gave him the nickname the Flayed One. And what was underneath when he removed all of his own skin was the body of the golden god himself.
What?
Yeah, that's like the deal. It sounds badass, doesn't it?
Must have weighed a ton. It was gold?
Yeah, he was made of gold.
C-3PO's like, it's me. Hey, you like my C3
Do you
impression?
think C-3PO found his way to Mexico and like...
Oh, like the Endor trick where he was like, tell them you'll use your magic, C3.
It's probably one of his languages.
What's magic, Master Luke? Shut the fuck up, nerd. Just do it. Freaking protocol droids. God damn it. That's my Luke impression. Young Luke, not nerded, hooded Luke.
Yeah, the OG Luke. Let's talk about the depiction of Shipe Totek. Now, every single time he's depicted, he is covered in flayed human skins. He's always portrayed holding a bloody knife.
I saw some other images that he wasn't holding a knife. He was holding like a spear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Close enough, I'll say.
I saw one where he was red. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't have his skin suit
Covered
on.
in blood.
Right. It was his without his blood. Okay. Painted, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Blooded.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one where I saw one where he's actually wearing the skin suit. But it was like someone else's skin. He was like in it, like a one-piece pajama, like of another person, not like pieces of different people.
One
like,
skin,
yeah, a couple different seams, yeah, like Buffalo Bill, Buffalo Bill's basement in the Science of the Lambs. No, wait, you're gonna have to hold still. Hold still. I got. He's like hemming his skin suit for him. I got just the thing.
Pricks him.
Hey, I heard you're the guy to see about getting a skin suit. Sherpe, what's his name?
Shipe Totek.
Shipe Totek, how you doing today? No, you want to come in here for a second? Wait a second, you a Mexican? Like, I'm Aztec.
About a size 14.
Hey, come on in here. I'm the god of agriculture.
Not needing a skin suit.
This is such an awful episode. This execution method. God damn it. Just picture your clothes are your skin and then take your clothes off. Oh my God.
Oh, and you mentioned seeing some statues of Shipe Totek.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about those statues is they were also dressed in real human skin. The statues would have human skin on them. That's how they were dressed.
Lovely.
Yeah, imagine seeing that. Like, that's your church that you walk by every day. There's like, oh, check out the statue. Oh, they got some new skin on there. Nice.
Have you ever seen like ground beef like maybe go bad in the fridge? Like it's like turns brown and it's like turns to
gray.
Yeah, definitely throw that out. That's like, think about human tissue hanging up there doing that in the sun, in the Aztec sun.
Yikes.
It's like jerky.
Yeah, probably.
At some point it dries out.
Peel a strip off, put some black peppercorn on there.
Hell yeah, marinate that bitch.
Maybe you go teriyaki.
You're going to have to push something around that thing so the flies don't get on it, though.
Yeah, and you guys smoke. You want to keep that smoke going all the time. Sorry.
Aztecs, they probably got the bot flies down there. You're probably going to have bot flies to deal with. Bot flies.
Yeah, good. We brought those up before.
Episode 1, bot fly. That's right.
Yeah, don't Google that unless you have a strong stomach. A little bit more about Shipe. He was also the source of all disease. Now, this is someone they worship, so this one strikes me as a little bizarre. But, I mean, you got a death cult type religion, you got death cult type gods, I suppose. He was also the inventor of war.
Inventor.
Yeah,
I got this idea. What we're going to do, we're going to go over to those other woods and kill all their people and take their woods.
Yeah, but it's got to be like
what should we call this? I don't know.
It's like a fight, but with like a lot of people at once.
Man, you see the way the princess was walking down the other day? See the clothes she wore? What? War, that's it.
That's a great word.
Perfect name for a battle.
Yeah, that's probably about how it went. Well, as you might imagine, as a god, there are a festival in his honor. And that festival, held every year on the spring equinox, is Tlacashipe-Hualistli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Translated from the Aztec, this means literally the flaying of men. Now, if that's the name of your festival, I'd say it's going to be a pretty grim affair.
Whenever I hear that name, I just think about all those mornings, those Sunday mornings, I wake up and find my Tlacashipe-Hualistli basket full of goodies and like little flayed men candies and shit. Yeah, a lot of gummy men.
If you're really lucky, like an action figure.
Chocolate men, like upside down on a stick.
Yeah, something like that.
I notice when I listen back to this episodes, I hear myself laugh at myself, and I'm like, what the I wish I could change that. But I guess it's to let you know that I'm kidding. I don't know. Or if maybe I just think I'm saying something funny. I don't know.
You probably do. I've been known to laugh at my own jokes too.
Yeah. So I'm not the only one that does that?
No.
Oh, really?
Now, this festival was full on bananas. Everything kicks off 40 days right before the equinox, when for every ward in every city, or maybe you only get one for a small Aztec village, they pick a slave who they had captured in war who had been especially brave. And these guys are dressed up like Chipe Totec. And they're painted and they're given the finest food and they're given wine and shit for the 40 days leading up to the...
Women,
yeah,
probably.
Maybe.
Frickin', you said these guys were bananas? You said in the beginning, you said something about this festival was bananas?
I mean, it just is crazy.
But you said bananas?
Yes, I did.
I was just thinking how freaking ironic that is. Because what do we do to bananas?
Peel them. I wish that pun was intended. Holy shit, nice catch.
Damn. Freaking, I'm paying attention to you. You don't realize it.
Yeah, that was an awesome pun I didn't even mean to make.
Anyone that heard this episode will never eat bananas again. That's a freaking promise.
I might have one right after.
Together we'll do it like cheers. Cheers to 50 more shows. To 68 more shows.
To peeling things. Yeah, so after their 40-day pampering ends, that's when the festival happens. And what they're subjected to is gladiatorial combat. And you may say, these men are warriors, right? When they were captured as prisoners of war. So they're probably going to be tough combatants. How's this a sacrifice? It's probably a fight between them, right?
They each get a weapon.
Oh, they do. Well... See, the people who had been captured would be chained to a pedestal that they can't run away. So they're stuck. I mean, this pedestal's probably, 3 meters wide? Something like that?
Yeah, I'd
3-4
so.
meters wide?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're on there, and they have to face off against the most elite infantry troops in the Aztec army, the Jaguar Warriors and the Eagle Warriors.
Didn't you say the guy in Apocalypto was a Jaguar warrior?
Yes. These two
The guy
classes,
in the chair that was motionless?
No, the guy who had the jaguar bone as part of his getup.
Oh, that guy that took all those people captive?
Yes.
Okay.
In terms of the way the Aztec military was situated, the Jaguar and Eagle soldiers would be the only full-time army guys. They were also the cops. Everyone else was sort of like, we're going on a raid, so we're pulling you from your shop, and we're pulling you from your farm, and we're pulling you from this. But the Jaguar and Eagle guys, you were eligible to become one of those once you captured 20 prisoners on your own in 2 consecutive raids. So,
damn,
me
you
and
did some
your
backstory on this.
Oh yeah, I dug way in.
Wow.
Yeah,
look
so
at you.
You're up against the cream of the crop in terms of Aztec warriors, and they are armed with a weapon that I'll call the macahuit, which I think is how you say it. And what this is think of a cricket bat.
Yeah, like a paddle.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the cricket bat, think of
Dazed and Confused. The movie.
Yeah.
They paddle the freshman.
Or the Animal House.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say, when you talked about doing the backstory on the Jaguar Warriors, I said, look at you. I wanted to clarify on that. What I meant was, look at you digging into like South American, Central American history. Not usually your thing, so I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm trying to branch out. I've been let down by my education.
Dinner in Hell. Proud moment.
Yeah, so they've got a macahuit. And what this is a paddle. A wooden paddle, but it's lined with small chips of obsidian.
From Minecraft?
Or dragon glass from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah, but that obsidian. So it's all lined around with these rocks. So if one chips out, easily replaced. It's a good weapon. It's also very heavy, so there's a lot of force. But we're not talking about a single edge here, right? This is a jagged piece of cutlery here.
It's like the blade of a chainsaw. The chain part would be teeth.
Yeah, it just doesn't move.
These stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But a paddle, motionless, yeah.
Yes.
And you would strike down on the enemy with great force, ripping the flesh from the enemy.
Yeah, because it's jagged, so it rips like you got hooks in you, not slicing you like a blade would.
It's like shark teeth or something, alligator teeth lined, but it's like obsidian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Classic obsidian work.
Yes.
If you're familiar with stonework.
Now, this might still not sound that impressive to you, but it might change your mind to know that obsidian, and likely the type craftsmen used when making these weapons, can be up to 12 times as sharp as steel can.
How can that be?
Surgical steel. 12 times as sharp as surgical steel.
How can that be? Lasers? Alien technology. Aztec style.
Just the way the rocks break, and the like molecular structure of it allows it to be sharper than metals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got a nice little edge on that thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing about the captives is they also had the paddle part, but what they had to fight with was, instead of 12 times sharper than surgical steel rocks of obsidian, it's lined with feathers. Feathers not 12 times as sharp as surgical steel, if you're taking notes.
Okay, but let me just say this now. This is like a dinner in hell clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner in hell. Wow. Clarification. You all familiar with the quote, the pen is mightier than the sword?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, most of our listeners, and hopefully you are, Brad, the feather pen, that you take the feather and you dip it in ink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes a pen.
Correct.
Well, what if this is paddle lined with feather pens? It's essentially lined with mightier than swords. Because it's all pens. Each feather itself is a pen.
I think I'd rather have a paddle lined with Bics than feather in the quills.
But the pen is mightier than the sword.
No, it's not. That's a dumb saying.
But it is. It was said.
I'd prefer Mao Zedong, who said, all political power flows from the barrel of a gun.
I'll quote Stephen Colbert. I think he once, a great man named Stephen Colbert once tweeted, The pen is mightier than the sword when it's shot out of the barrel of a gun.
Truth.
So there were people that were selected for this thing, that they were like pampered up until the day.
Yeah, and then it was a sacrifice because they ain't fighting back with the shit they got.
The guy's like, go ahead, hit me with your feathers.
Yeah.
Please, go ahead, hit me a couple times.
A little whack with a tiny little bit of wood, and you're talking about elite troops. They're going to carve you to pieces.
The elite troops like mocking him, like, no, please. The guy's like laying in him with the feather bat. Mm-hmm. Oh, please. The crowd like laughs.
I might get a light bruise.
The crowd laughs in unison. Freaking mocks him right there in front of everyone. Then he just strikes down on him.
They do seem to be a grim people when they're about this work.
Crowd loves it to see the man ripped apart before them, chained to the pedestal.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Now that's just a sort of little like a side dish, and these guys' bodies got used in a lot of ways, but their skins weren't super preserved. You know what I'm saying? They're getting slaughtered with these mahuits.
Yeah.
But the day before the festival began, they took care of that for us, because they would sacrifice a whole nother group of prisoners, first cutting their hearts out. Like, if you really want to investigate, we do have a discussion on this, well, especially when we talk about that apocalypto scene in episode 23. Take the heart out.
We're going to throw this, we'll throw the sacrifice scene from Apocalypto in the comments on the Facebook page.
Yeah. And it's a pretty good depiction of this part of it.
Mm-hmm. They remove the heart.
Yes. And these people are flayed post-mortem. So at least they have that going for them, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about flaying headless corpses.
Okay.
But the skins are definitely put to good use in the Aztec society. The skins of the sacrifice victims worn by some lucky young men within the Aztec society, these dudes spend the next 20 days going around begging for food and money, and by law and punishment of death, literally every Aztec home would have to welcome these people in as guests. They have to put like necklaces on their necks and give them a bunch of food and money and wine and everything, which they'd redistribute.
Take this turquoise necklace.
Yeah. And they're just like, thanks, I'll take some pulque, which is Aztec wine.
I got some chorizo.
Yeah. They just, oh, that sounds good.
Let's do some chorizo and huevos.
Actually.
Huevos and chorizo.
Huevos rancheros. Yeah, so they would go around begging. Every home, they'd have to let you in, make you some food, hang out with you, give you some money, and then you go to the next house.
Trick or treat.
And again, I feel the need to repeat. These people are, for 20 consecutive days, wearing the skin of a killed person.
When I said they peel the skin off your face first, you are a freaking head with no eyelids to blink. So your eyes are open forever. So you lose vision. I mean, they dry out. Your skin, you have a membrane that evaporates.
There's one guy just dropping Visine on there.
Like freaking clockwork. Orange.
Or did you get into Doctor Who? Like, there's that one point where they travel into the future. And there's the last human being alive in the universe, and it's just a woman who's just skin, like stretched between two posts. That's it. That's all she is. There's like a face on it, but she's just skin because she's like 9,000 years old or some shit like that. And she's got like a crew of servants, and she'll just be like, moisturize me, and they'll like spray her down with a bottle.
That sounds cool. Okay. Wakashudo.
Bushido.
Thank you.
Now, so 20 days. We're talking 20 days in the Mexican sun for these severed skins. As you can imagine, after this period, quite rotten already. Pretty stinky, I'm imagining.
I'm going to up it.
In my mind's nose.
I want to up it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know the saying piss poor?
Yes.
It means people were so poor that all they could do is sell their piss to earn money. And they sold their piss to tanneries that tanned furs and skins, animal skins.
So sort of like the feudal plasma.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was be piss.
Yeah.
I don't know if our listeners knew that, but that's what piss poor means. A real side note, if you don't have a pot to piss in, that means you're so poor that you don't even have a pot to collect your own piss.
To sell it.
That's even poorer than piss poor.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I wonder if they tanned these human skins with piss. You're talking about an odor with no piss.
Yeah, just au natural.
I wonder if they used piss to like tan it, the human skin.
I hope
just
so, honestly.
Raw human skin?
I think it's just raw human skin.
Hmm.
Yeah, just like rotting away on these people's bodies.
Jerky. Aztec. Skin jerky.
Mm-hmm. Now, the skin is not the only part of the victims that would see continued ritual use.
The heads, they use it for a soccer ball.
Yeah, so all that rotten skin, its final resting place is it's packed into a airtight jar and buried in a special chamber underneath of the temple to Shipetotec.
Nice.
So there's there's a skin room. That's one creepy basement, dude.
Please tell me you don't have a skin room at your house.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but it is creepy when you go in there, isn't it?
I feel at home. I feel comfortable in it.
But in somebody else's skin room, you never feel quite the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every man wants to be at home in his own skin room. Skin's not the only part of the body getting ritual play at this festival. Your dome piece would also see continued ritual use. I mean, the Aztec priests, also often dressed in skin robes themselves, would be performing near nonstop ritual dances with your head.
That's awful.
Yep.
Check out this head. Oh my God.
I'll dance with it all day.
Just
Just flopping around.
Hey, you want to toss heads around?
Yeah.
Tell me your head, dude. Go deep.
There's buskers like juggling with heads.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of death going on in this Aztec society. Whoo-wee.
Your head's tongue's coming out. Do you know that? Your head's tongue, did you want it coming out? I just thought you might want to know if the head you're carrying, the tongue's coming out. Want to tuck it back in. Tuck her in. Yeah, you need freaking rubber band that chin up, bro. Or you're going to have tongue out. That's a fresh head. You know better.
And on top of that, not only do they have a skin room, they got lots of skull rooms. When they're done with the head, it'll be cleaned, and the skulls will be used as wall furniture, like wall art.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we mentioned briefly in the headhunting episode that there was one Aztec temple that they found that had 62,000 human skulls up on the walls.
That's it?
Oh, that seems like a small number of human skulls to you?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of skulls.
That's like the
It's
entire...
like Jeepers Creepers times infinity.
That's like the entire Detroit Lions football team. I'm just kidding. 62,000. Yeah, that's a lot, man. It's a mountain. Mountain of skulls. I'm not arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm on your team.
Okay, that's good. But wait, there's more. Your thighs will be used too.
As a roast?
Yeah. Yes. One thigh would be offered to the king, which, I mean, he must have gotten a lot of thighs that day. Right? I mean, if one thigh of every sacrifice victim is offered to the king,
I'm so sick of thigh.
he's going to be eating thighs till the cows come home. He's going to get so sick of them.
God damn it. Thigh day. I'll never forget my first thigh day. That spring day. Whew.
Yeah. Ooh.
Human's
right.
pretty greasy. It's like duck.
See, I've read it's most similar to pork.
Human?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's been called long pork.
That's not good because I love pork.
Me too.
So that means I might have a taste for human. That's a dinner hell confession.
Well, humans would probably be a little gamey.
Dinner in hell confessions.
What happens to the other thigh? Well, that is made into a stew, and all of the warriors who are responsible for capturing the prisoners that are used that day will share it. Except, your own guy doesn't eat you. For whatever reason, there's some level of respect there that the warrior who took you prisoner, he'll eat a different stew. A stew made of the other prisoner's legs.
You couldn't eat your own prisoner's leg?
No, you wouldn't eat your own prisoner's leg. You would eat the other guy's prisoner's leg, and they would eat your dude's leg.
Yeah, it's just taboo. Everyone knows in Aztec culture, if you're, you just don't eat your own prisoner's thigh. You just don't do
bad
that.
form. It's bad luck.
You don't wear LA Dodgers hat with a Raiders jacket or something. You coordinate.
Yeah. It's a simple thing. Everybody knows it. You don't that's a big faux pas in the Aztec cannibalism scene.
It's actually how Reese's peanut butter cups were invented. Chocolate and peanut butter. It's like, hey, you want to try my thigh? No, I'm good.
Two great tastes. Tastes great together.
Let me try your thigh. You try my thigh. That's a good combo bite. Combo bite.
We should try mixing up more things.
Yeah. I got this chocolate. I got this peanut butter. Tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it went down. Just like that.
Same mannerisms.
Oh, yeah. And these dudes, the warriors that would drink the stew, after any of them were involved in this scenario, they were considered to have some aspect of the divine within themselves. So it literally made them more than human to partake in this ritual, which is fascinating to me. Could you imagine that in society now? I'd be like, no, that dude's part God. He's not a human being anymore. That'd be fucking weird.
If you could, would you eat some of LeBron's thigh?
No, I don't. I think I'm going to try and keep my cannibalism-free streak going longer than my vegetarian period, at least. Oh, we do also. I was able to pull up some stats on exactly how this thigh would be prepared.
Oh, good.
Yeah, in case you were really curious, you wanted to hear more cannibalism talk. Evidently, it was cooked with peppers and tomatoes and served on a bed of maize.
Oh, man, that sounds like a hell of a recipe. I don't know if I can handle.
I'm honestly
peppers and tomatoes.
When we started this episode, before I came down to the studio today, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? You should get something to eat, and I didn't. So I'm hungry now. I'm doing this show hungry. So I'm not gonna lie. I start reading words like peppers, tomatoes, served on a bed of maize. All of a sudden, maybe my mouth watering a little bit. Is that too fucked up to admit on this?
Well, at least you didn't during the Albert Fish episode.
I'm thinking about the peppers mostly.
So that from that region too, the peppers are probably potent.
Got some real snap to them.
Yeah,
delicious peppers, and only peppers.
If you're gonna eat thigh, you gotta bust out those peppers. That's how they got the name thigh peppers.
So your thighs get used, your head gets used, your skin gets used. That's got to be it, right? No. There's more. The victims of these sacrifices, blood would also be carried around town in a bowl and rubbed on the lips of all the statues of the gods to nourish them. And that's what all these sacrifices are for, or to feed the gods. So when they got your blood after they've sacrificed you, they take it around town and rub it on the lips of all the statues. And what a grim day this is.
Yeah.
Yikes.
What time are you going to be home? Well, still got a couple more statues I got to do yet.
I'm a route. My blood lips route.
Yeah, I got at least 7 more statues, and they're tall. So it's going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call you as soon as I get home.
Call you.
Holy shit. I got to put blood on all these lips.
Yeah, there's Quetzalcoatl's, there's Shipe Totex. Everywhere you look, there's a god with dry lips, and it's my job to blood them up.
They have a fever, and the only cure is more blood lipstick gloss.
And they give it to him.
So that's about wraps up the Aztec culture.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's crazy.
Right, yeah, I know, right?
Man, now I want Neo-Assyrian restaurant. I just started thinking about that restaurant we were talking about earlier. Neo-Assyrian style.
I mean, I haven't loved most Arabic food that I've had, but falafel sounds good right now. Shawarma.
Oh my God. I love shish kebab. Yeah.
I should get into it more. I should try more, but
freaking garlic that they give you before with the pita, like fresh baked. Oh, it's like whipped garlic. It's insane.
That's
so good.
I gotta get some food, man.
Next taping, I'm gonna try to bring some. Yeah.
What do they call that?
Garlic shit. I don't know. Garlic. Is it tahini? Garlic tahini?
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
There's hummus tahini, and I think there's garlic tahini. Maybe.
Hummus is like okay. I like it. It's like okay.
Hey, you want to correct me? Do it on Facebook. Do it on Twitter. That's your chance.
Now, there have been other notable occurrences of flaying throughout history, particularly in the realm of religious persecution. There have been both Jews and Christians martyred via flaying by the Romans. For the Jewish persecution, let's go back to Rome under Emperor Hadrian in 135.
First time mentioned on our program.
This was our first Hadrian hit?
Yes.
Nice.
I've never even heard of Hadrian.
Oh, yeah?
Seriously. All right.
Well, you see, he had forbidden the teaching of the Jewish religion within the Roman Empire. Said, no, we're going to cut this shit off. No spreading Judaism here. But, as you know, people don't tend to obey those rules regardless of the consequences, and one such gentleman was a man by the name of Akiva, Rabbi Akiva. He kept spreading Judaism and eventually was sentenced to death for it. And he was flayed by a particular Roman type.
Which was? Oh, God, not the thing, the comb.
Yeah, this is the combing. This was a particular Roman flavor of flaying. Now, what this was is they would take two combs that were generally used for working wool. Think little tiny garden hose, basically. With
Wool's
one
dense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something strong that can rip through the wool.
Yeah, these might be iron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gardening claw, did you say that?
Yeah. Think a gardening claw with like 1 to 2 centimeter teeth on the end of it.
Right.
Now, these would be put into hot coals until the combs were red hot, at which point they would use them to scrape and rake the skin off of the victim.
That's just wonderful, BT. That's so awful.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the let's get a big a piece as we can flavor. This is just straight up carnage. I mean, is the best word I can think of for what this must have looked like.
They're red hot.
Yeah. Burning and tearing.
Jesus.
Imagine there's a lot of sticking happening.
A lot of searing of meat and smelling.
And a whole lot of yelling.
And a lot of watering mouths. Those who love the smell.
Yeah, this is a brutal one. Akiva did not go out gently.
God.
It's hard to get over those combs once you imagine them.
Poor Rabbi Akiva.
Yeah, he really got it rough. But Christians got it too. We'll talk about St. Bartholomew.
Don't forget. Yeah, don't worry. Everybody gets it.
Yep. St. Bartholomew, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus, or Nathaniel, if you're reading John's Gospel, he was also flayed. After angering the local aristocracy, consensus now is that this was somewhere in India. He had angered a local official by converting the ruler there to Christianity. Like, all the other aristocrats were like, fuck you, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, this is jacking our whole shit up right now. Everything was running like a machine till you rolled in here.
Yeah.
So they kidnapped him and had him sentenced to death.
What was his death to be? What method?
Oh, he was flayed before being beheaded.
Good news, you're going to be beheaded. Bad news, it's after you're flayed. What? I didn't agree to that.
Yeah, we're doing the quick part after you're dead. The easy part. The part that would have made all of this real fast. That's for later. Yeah, so that's how he became a martyr. And if we go forward just a little bit further ourselves, we go up to 415 in Alexandria, the Christians would turn right around and dish out a flaying. Yeah. There was a Neoplatonist philosopher named Hypatia. I mean, in terms of early philosophers, she's the earliest female mathematician that we have a lot of information about her life. But she was brilliant. Great mathematician, very good philosopher. She was also a pagan. But she was known as a very gifted teacher and an extremely wise counselor. Around this time, Alexandria is one of the more cosmopolitan cities in the world. I mean, think like Paris, London. It's like equivalent to that. Rome.
Okay.
Big time cultural center. So, I mean, it makes sense that the great philosophers are there.
Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Des Moines.
Powder Springs.
Yeah. Mountain View.
Houston. Ashburn. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. The real centers.
Paris. Yeah.
Yeah. The real centers of the world.
Right. I got a trivia question for you. We just named a few frequent listener cities.
Uh-huh.
We had Singapore listen to us
did we?
the week leading up to this taping.
Welcome, Singapore.
No. I said I have a question for you.
Oh,
I did not ask. The question is, was it their first time? Were they a new country or were they a returned country?
New country.
Return, baby. Singapore loves dinner now. Everyone knows that.
Welcome back, Singaporean listeners.
We need to learn that in their language.
Okay, you do that. Oh, yeah. We were talking about Hypatia.
We were talking about Alexandria, the city.
Yeah. So as an advisor, she talked to the Roman prefect of Alexandria quite often, and he happened to be in a feud with the bishop of Alexandria. Yeah, they didn't get along. They were having a spat, and some of the public, especially the Christian public, because they're like, he's got a pagan whispering in his ear all day long. That's why these two can't make up. That's why we can't get this breach solved. And I mean, when you're talking Rome, a feud might mean people dying a lot. A feud today you might think of like a Twitter beef. People probably dying because of this, is what I'm saying.
During a feud, I bet person like Lacusa the Poisoner probably is getting a lot of work.
Yeah.
You want to come by my shop, honey? I'll take care of you. I know just what the thing you need, honey. You just need some devil's breath, devil's wart.
Yeah. Now
put it in his wine.
The evidence doesn't suggest that she would have been doing that because she didn't seem to have a prejudice against Christians. She had many Christian students that she taught.
I got Christian friends.
Yeah, you remember how discerning Pythagoras was in terms of accepting students? He had to be silent for like 8 years or whatever before he'd teach you anything.
Some of my best buddies are Christian. I got buddies from work that are Christian.
Yeah, she'd be like, you want to teach? You want to learn? Come on in. I'll teach you. You don't have to be silent for 7 years or worship beans or any other weird shit. Go check out the Divine Pythagoras.
Like Pythagoras' rejects. Couldn't sit on the porch like Fight Club long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Get off my porch.
Down to Hypatia.
Yeah.
Well, a mob of Christian women showed less tolerance when they, under the leadership of their church's lector, kidnapped Hypatia from her carriage when she was traveling alone. Yeah, a lector. A lector was running this whole show. You know who's been a lector many times?
Hannibal?
Me.
It's the only one I can think of.
I've been a lector in church any number of times.
Hello, Clarice.
A
Hello,
lector's-
Bradley. What is a lector, Bradley?
It's just the person that reads the Gospels and the readings in the Bible in a Catholic church, sir.
Was it a Catholic church?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's a Catholic church.
Was it in town? Was it in your city? Did you go to it every Sunday and Wednesday?
Close, very impressive guessing that I went to church twice a week, but in fact, the school services were on Tuesdays.
You know what you are, Clarice? You're like a rube.
Well, yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
Lector.
Yeah, so the women grab her, lector, but what I was getting to before the silence of the
you
last
read the
bit.
gospel before the mass?
Yeah, or during it. But
During.
the reason a
No,
lector...
I'm saying before the audience, like in front of them.
Yep. You
Before-
get up there.
I stand before you as a boy, reading from the gospel.
Yep. The reason I imagine a lector was of much more prominence than I was when I held the role is because I don't know how many people in 415 Alexandria could read. Everybody at my school pretty much could read. So I wasn't doing anything that special. But this dude evidently could swing his dick around enough to get a bunch of women to kidnap another woman, which they did. And they dragged her into a church. Now, keep that in mind. This is Christian people with a pagan captive inside of a Christian church.
What do they do? Baptize her?
Oh, how
Water-
I wish that they had done that.
Waterboard her with like baptismal spring water?
No, I wish. What they did was they baptized her with oyster shells by removing her skin.
God, they flayed her in a church,
Yeah, with oyster shells.
which are goddamn rough as hell.
Or, I mean, the alternative is that translation, the only other thing that they could have used is roof tiles, which I don't think is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of like the clay
Yeah.
shells
I mean,
that they put on their roofs.
Yeah, I guess to dig skin off of somebody to remove all this. Holy
Like,
shit.
have they heated up? Are they heated up?
It didn't say.
Mm.
I don't think so, though. Yeah, I mean, eventually they burned the rest of her remains, but yeah. Talk of that. I imagine that was quite a rough way to go.
The ancient church of Hadstock in Essex. Was that the UK? Essex?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is from an Australian source. There was a legend of a Dane. Was it a Danish person?
Yes.
There was a legend of a Dane.
Someone from Denmark.
Denmark. There was legend of a Dane who had committed sacrilege being flayed in punishment.
Mm-hmm.
It was said that his skin was spread out and nailed to the door of the church as a sign to others to never mess up as badly as that Dane had. When the door needed repair, it was found to everyone's shock and dismay that there were still pieces of human skin under the door nails, indicating the size of the sheet of skin once held there, like stretched out, tacked up.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that, right?
I did run across this in my research.
Okay.
However, I did go a little bit deeper. We lose sight of this, Ron and I, because we are Americans. Our country is extraordinarily young.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're talking about this church in Essex, that shit's still there. And they had modern science when you're talking about when they found the hide beneath the nails.
They DNA tested?
They analyzed it, and it did turn out to be leather, cowhide.
Cowhide, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was there, and people were saying that it was human, so I imagine it still fulfilled its purpose of terrorizing the people of that town.
I hate to put you on the spot here, but can you name the, was it the Viking legend that shredded the ox thing and made the City of...
Oh, yeah, he could have an ox hide.
Was it Halfdan Longleg or was it someone else?
It was somebody from that story, but I can't remember which Lord of the Rings character it was. Thorir Longbeard, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know. That was in the Blood Eagle episode, I think.
Yes, 51.
Rygar, I think his name was.
Yeah, it might have been Rygar.
Yeah, it was Rygar.
51, episode 51, I believe.
There was a video game called Rygar on Nintendo. It was actually pretty cool.
I thought it was Sega. Was it Sega Genesis?
And Nintendo, because I didn't have Sega. I had Rygar. Yeah, you swung around like a blade on a chain, I think.
Beat 'em up like a side scroller.
Yeah, you go this way, yeah, or that way.
Nice.
But when there was a thing, I don't know if anyone out there remembers this, but if you jumped to the next scene, it would it would flip to the next scene on your TV. Mm-hmm. But if you jumped at a certain point, boom, you could be like inside the game's graphics and like explore, like open, free
you could
forever.
Like skip a bunch of the like levels.
Well, no, you're just like, you're not supposed to be where you are, and you can just move free on this like game map. It was so wild. Like it was a glitch.
That's a nice glitch.
Yeah, it's cool. Old Nintendo 16-bit or whatever.
Have you ever seen people speedrun video games? Like, I can beat Mario in 7 minutes.
I've heard about that.
With all like the glitches and shit.
There's like YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there's a ton of them. They have like all these records and like a whole like message boards and stuff where people like have tips back and forth about how to do this certain glitch. Some of them are fucking incredible to watch, dude. Like the amount of skill that people have built up is mind blowing. Yeah,
like they run and just perfectly bounce, ding, 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 off the little single block columns. Oh yeah,
never slowing down. Just like it misses the Impaler. Is an incredible Mario player.
It's like perfectly timed jumps and down the right tunnels and. There's another thing. Did you ever see that documentary on the guy that plays the Donkey Kong arcade game? It was like, we're about to have a flip here, guys. We're about to have a score flip or something.
They have that dick Billy Mitchell with the guy with the ponytail.
Once it gets to a certain score level, it'll do a screen flip. We're about to have a screen flip moment. Like if you've never seen one, you know what I mean? Like the whole arcade's like, holy shit, drop everything.
Yeah, that
leave the tickets. Come on.
Those whole Twin Galaxies is the people who do that like arcade machine records and stuff is so corrupt.
Really?
Do you have any knowledge of that?
No.
Oh, I'm about to hit you with some shit later.
Is it Neo-Assyrian?
It's Neo-Assyrian-esque, the level of corruption and tyranny within this gaming organization. That's for a different future podcast.
I only seek out Neo-Assyrian knowledge. That's right now. That's what I'm after.
Yeah, this is ostensibly less brutal cheating at Donkey Kong, but, whatever.
We mentioned King Nasser Paul today's episode of Peeling Skin Off People. I want to know what our listeners, what their Mount Rushmore would be of sorrow of our show. Like,
who do you think are the 4 worst people that we've talked about?
We've done Hitler, Nero,
Caligula.
Right. Like we've done some monsters. So H.H. Holmes,
Dahmer.
Yeah. We've done Manson. Like, yeah.
Who do you think is anybody? How do you judge it? Do you
Manson
go by body count? Do you go by sadism? Do you go by degree of brutality? I don't know. You tell us.
Manson was like more of a riot. I can't wait to do Unabomber.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
We have we're going to actually cover Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. We're going to cover our Mount Rushmore. So get your votes in for your Mount Rushmore right now. Facebook, Twitter, any way you can.
Yeah, we're on Facebook.
Snail mail.
Google us. We're on Twitter. That's the best way. At Dinner and Hell Pod. Maybe we'll throw a poll up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have anything else you'd like to say to us, that's the best place to reach us on Twitter at Dinner and Hell Pod. We're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. Please don't forget to rate and review. If all else fails, you can go find the shit at YouTube, but nobody else does. Can you believe this audience?
I can. And I always will. I trust in them.
They're really showing us some love tonight, and I can't get enough of it. You guys have been great.
Their applause has an honest tone to it.
It really does.
An appreciative tone. The band plays with I feel like they are one with our podcast, the band, musically, artistically, creatively.
And they're just up there burning like 1,000 suns.
Just they bleed dinner in hell.
Can't get enough of it. Thanks to them. Thanks to you, Ron. Thanks to this beautiful studio audience. And thanks to all of our listeners at home. We love you. Good night.